You know, it's a Wednesday here at the Voice of College Football. Therefore, you know it's a busy, busy time, always a busy hump day at the Voice of College Football. Appreciate you stopping by for the best in discussion, debate, and analysis. Look at the lineup of shows. You can catch those on X/Twitter. Twitter. That would be courtesy, I would say, from our buddy Jackson, who posts the lineup, the programming schedule each and every day on X or Twitter. And then we've also got the post that I provide just about every day. Sometimes I miss, but on the community page right here at the Voice of College Football. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are slammed with shows. So I'm just happy to have a spot amongst all of our network lineup. So this is our everyday show here. This is the staple of the network. This is what we do. This is where we are. And again, we want to make this a destination for you each and every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And we see that StreamYard has once again, be kind, Mark, be kind, because they are our partners. They do provide this platform for us to stream to you through YouTube, of course. But StreamYard has, what is going on? What is that? What is that? What's going on? What are we doing here? What is going on? Good. It's a mess. It's a mess. I don't even know what that is. No. Yeah, cancel, discard, do all that. It's just incredibly pathetic. These windows that you see us in, they change every freaking day. They change every day. They change them around and make them different every day. Why? I have no idea. I have no idea. And then we talk to them and we reset it and we get it the way we want. And it changes again. No idea what's going on. It's unbelievable. But I guess as long as you can hear me, you don't need to see me, just so you can hear me. Just so I can see all of you in the chat. That's the most important thing above anything else. So just pisses me off. Goodness gracious. Not a good way to start the show. Just noticed that as soon as I came on, boom, I can't set up the window. It's gone. Poof! It's gone. And if this was the first time, big deal. Oh, there was a little glitch in the system or somebody accidentally deleted something. No, this happens almost every day now. It's crazy. It was like dealing with my insurance company today. I'm not going to name names because it's a fine insurance company, I believe. Just started with them 3 months ago, but I had been with them years ago. And obviously, the only reason I'm switching insurance companies is because I can get a better rate. And then there's this whole fiasco about a certain sign up, and it's all their fault. Therefore, I'm paying like $25 more a month than what I signed up for, but I can't. Yeah, it's a whole fiasco. They finally got worked out, but then they won't reimburse me. And I said, the only reason I changed was you gave me a better rate, and now you're not adhering to the better rate. It just doesn't stop. It's called first world problems. I got to remember that. We should all remember that. First world problems when we're dealing with apps and insurance companies and windows on StreamYard. First world problems. I am so blessed. Thank you for being here at the Voice of College Football. We are all blessed. Why? Because we get together. Say that 3 times fast. We get together Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Our one get-together that is becoming more and more difficult to schedule would be our big watch party. So here's the intent for the members. You members out there, and many of your names are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Check out the ticker down below. I am probably missing many of you. There are only so many names that we can fit into one of these ticker layouts. So I've got about 5 of them. So we wanted to continue to recognize you, honor you, say thank you to our many members, both on Patreon and here on the YouTube channel. So wherever you sign up, it's the same benefit. And one of the big benefits that we wanted to start here last month, and we're still trying to figure it out. We think we've got the logistics figured out. Now we got to find a time. And man, finding a time in my schedule is unbelievable just to do a watch party. Can't find one for like a month. Goodness gracious. So we will do our best. We've got the 2021 Michigan win over Ohio State to show all of you and to sit here and watch and take part in and trash talk and have fun watching Michigan defeat Ohio State in 2021, the big breakthrough game for Jim Harbaugh and the Maize and Blue. And that was voted upon by you to be the game, the watch party. Here's the intent. Watch party for June, July, and August. They're obviously previous games. Probably won't go back to last season. We'll probably do a kind of a recent vintage kind of style that will keep it within the last 20 years or so, something in that range. Although, hey, if somebody says I want to see the 1975 Rose Bowl, hey, let's do it. I don't know that we will be able to go back to the early like 1900s, 20th century national championship teams. Don't know if those are on YouTube. Don't know if we can really, did those really happen? I don't know if they happened. I guess we did document George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, so we can document those. Yes, okay. I guess they are substantiated. Okay, somewhere. We have pictures. That's right. We've got pictures. They're not moving, but they're pictures. So anyway, we'll do a watch party of classic games. Again, the first one, 2021 Michigan over Ohio State at the Big House in 2021. We're going to do that in the next couple of weeks. We'll do a game for July. We'll take your poll and your barometer, your temperature, your all those other things that we could measure. Maybe just your preference on what game you would like to see in July and August. And then once we hit the season, we'll have actual recent college football games in the moment, 2025. And my intent is for us to get together for a watch party. Monday night sounds like a good night because we'll do, of course, the big games are played on Saturday. And then we'll let it breathe over the weekend. We'll talk to all of you. We'll do the big show on Monday. And then, boom, we can break right into a watch party on Monday night. How does that sound? Monday night watch parties every month. Best game of the month. We'll start those late September or maybe the first week of October for September. And we'll do that. That sounds like a good time, huh? George Washington went to Georgetown. Nationwide is the best. Mike 3883 asking about Arizona State. And, I had a thought today. It wasn't early enough for us to implement that for this particular show. But as we move forward, maybe starting next week, which is going to be all-time program rankings week. We are going to get to that. I hope so next week. I've got all the numbers down. I've got all the numbers. Just got to produce the videos so we can set up the debates here. But we'll do all-time program rankings, I hope, next week. And I also thought, you know what? We should do a random team of the day. I'll do a quick little study. We'll come on here. I'll spring a team on you. Boom, Stanford. We're going to do Stanford today. We'll do a random team of the day, learn a little bit about that particular team historically and for 2025, most of all for 2025. So maybe we'll start that at some point. How about that? Random team of the day. As soon as I say that, you know what? I will forget it and I will never come back to it. And then it'll be a month from now and I'll say, you know what? I forgot about that random team of the day. I'm also bothered by this. What's going on there? Let's get that out of the way. Very good. Edward, glad I could be of amusement to you. Mike 3883 is here. So is Karen. So is Ed. So are many of you. Jim R. Good to see you as well. So again, can't talk this up enough. Watch party Just got to find a day and a time in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll do a July. Got to get it done before July, because then we're going to do a July watch party and in August. And then we get into the season, and then they become extremely fun because we'll do them on Mondays every month. Or maybe, if I get really incentivized, we could do one every Monday from the previous weekend. We could pick our game of the weekend. Let's think about that one. Game of the week, then watch party on Monday night. What do we have to cook up for that one? Let me think about that. Watch party. What am I going to call that? Idea. If I don't put something there, I'm going to forget what my idea was. Every Monday game of the week. Who likes that? Get together to watch college football every Monday night of a game that's just fresh. It's the previous Saturday's game. Best game of Saturday. Watch party on Monday night. Rewatch party. Rewatch, Jim R says, my preseason top 10. Too much work for me. I don't think so. That's not going to be too much work. Well, it's going to be an extra, it's going to be an extra 3 hours of work. It's a time commitment, Dave. Let's call it that. I appreciate you calling it work. It's not work. But yeah, it does take time away from other things that make money. Therefore, we may have to connect the two. Work and play in business and making money. Yes. All right. So let me simmer on that one. Yes, as somebody mentioned there in the chat, Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football, is stopping by at 4:30 Eastern Time. Tony Barnhart, a guy that I've respected for years and years and years. He was on here about 6 months ago, and in light of the NCAA settlement, I wanted to have him back to discuss the state of college football and if this truly has fixed the sport or fixed anything. Has it fixed the sport? I think we can all agree, no, it has not fixed the sport in any such way. But is it a major step in the right direction, or does it raise even more issues? I think we can say both. I do believe that it's addressed many of the issues and much of the damage. However, it raises more issues about how all this is going to be handled going forward. As Jackson will confirm, I believe, first he's confirming that we've got a website. We launched it on the weekend of the NFL draft. VOCFB.com. Please check it out. I need to go check out the numbers to see how many of you are frequenting our fine site, VOCFB.com. Please check it out. We've got articles posted every day. Our goal is to post 4 articles, so fresh articles every day, 4 of them each and every day. We appreciate our chief editor, Matt Zemek, but we've got a writing staff that he leads. And so check out VOCFB.com. Jackson, thank you so much for leaving the link in the chat. Please sign up right there. You will be able to soon access my weekly newsletter. That is a monthly newsletter right now that we hope to make a weekly newsletter at some point soon. How about the start of the college football season? We also believe we're going to have a major announcement soon at the Voice of College Football. But I will need to wait on that one until it becomes official. But another excellent show to present to all of you. That I might be a little bit biased, but it could possibly turn out to be the best show here at the Voice of College Football. So we'll see if it comes together. If Jackson can confirm for me, 73 days until week 0, because let's see, we've got 10 weeks, that's 70 days, 10 times 7, Saturday would be 70, Add 3, bring us back to Wednesday, 73 days. Chat, leave me your favorite number 73 of all time in college football. Number 73, commemorating 73 days to the start of the college football season. First guy that comes to mind for me, John Hannah. John Hannah, New England Patriots, one of the greatest to ever do it at left tackle. And of course, the Alabama Crimson Tide, 1970 to 72. They only played 3 years then. They were not eligible as freshmen. John Hannah was once named by Sports Illustrated as the greatest offensive lineman in the history of the NFL. So I'll serve up John Hannah, number 73, and a more recent Alabama great taken in the first round of the NFL draft in All-America in Jonah Williams. He wore number 73. I believe Buckeye greats Jim Stelway. Call coming in. People don't know that I'm on at 4 o'clock every day, 4 o'clock Eastern time. People in my life that have no idea. What have we done? Like 65 shows. Anyway, Jim Stillwagon comes to mind as well as an Outland Trophy winner. I believe he was number 73. I believe John Hicks was number 73. No. John Hicks was number 72. Anyway, came up with 3 great number 73s for you. 2 from Alabama, Ohio State. Give me a number 73. I believe it's 73. John Hicks. That's what I just said. Yeah, John Hicks, number 73. So we got another number 73. Thank you there, 79 Jed Buck. Chris Ward was number 72, who's a college football Hall of Famer as well, just recently named in the last 5 years. Blue Wolverines here. Blue Wolverine, thank you so much for this week gifting, count them, 20 memberships. So you know what you have done here, Blue Wolverine, what you have gifted? You have gifted not just 20 memberships, but 20 entries to our watch party that's coming up at a time to be determined, because I still can't figure out when we're going to do this thing. But Blue Wolverine, his timing is exquisite because he is going to be able to, and has made a way for more Michigan fans to bask in the glory of the 2021 win over Ohio State to win the Big Ten championship and a 8-year drought against the Buckeyes. Maybe we'll do a watch party in like 2029, and that will be Ohio State's first win over Michigan in like 8 years. John Hannah, Jonah Williams, Jim Stillwagon, I believe, and John Hicks. There's got to be some famous Michigan offensive lineman, number 73. John Jansen was 77. So anyway, 73 days to college football, week 0. Give me your favorite or any great number 73. Matthew says Joe Thomas was 72 at Wisconsin, 73 in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. So, Matthew, we can hang on for one more day for that. I think Joe Thomas basically is the distinction. I don't know that we could say this about any other football player in the history of the NFL. Joe Thomas, I lose track of the Hall of Fame in pro football. I used to know everybody that was in, almost in, not quite. So I assume he's in the Hall of Fame at this point. I don't know if it's been official. He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer if he hasn't already been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Regardless, can you name a player that is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame that played for worse teams? And on top of that, because he plays offensive line, it's not like he could amass these jaw-dropping statistics. So you would say, okay, this dude made the Hall of Fame because he ran for 15,000 yards or scored 100 touchdowns or threw 40 touchdown passes a year. And we know that he just got buried on an awful team. No, this is a guy that was so great, so dominant that the guys that scout the guys that he played against said he's the best. He's always the best. And even though he plays in obscurity in Cleveland for the worst franchise in the NFL, he is a surefire all-time great. I can't think of anybody else that fits that category. Joe Thomas. It's pretty remarkable. No, not Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders played in playoff games. I knew Barry Sanders was going to come up. Ralph, thank you for the try. Barry Sanders played on multiple playoff teams. Barry Sanders played in the 1991 NFC Championship game. So, yes, Barry Sanders played for a lot of downtrodden teams. And I would guess that from 1989, his first year in the NFL, through his final season in 97, whatever year it was, 98, that the Detroit Lions were about 500, but nothing close to Joe Thomas. And he played in playoff games and championship games. No one. Zach Wiegert. I'd have to look up his NFL run to see. Yeah, we're not going to do that right now. But yeah, no, Calvin Johnson. Now, again, Calvin Johnson was playing for the Detroit team that should have won in Dallas in an NFL playoff. Give me somebody who's never played an NFL playoff game, let alone championship games, like Barry Sanders. So, Archie Manning is not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'm not talking about who was a better player. Zach Wiegert. Are we really going to dig deep into this? Why not? This is why we're here, right? So Zach Wiegert, of course, of Nebraska. Oh, wait a minute. Come on. He played. Okay, well, there's something there, but again, it doesn't come close because what we've got here is Zach Wiegert played for the St. Louis Rams. Oh, my goodness. 1995, 96, 97, 98. So what's interesting here is that he left St. Louis right when the Rams got good. So, of course, they were no good in 1998. Trent Green got hurt preseason 99. Insert Kurt Warner. They go on to win the Super Bowl and move on to become a mini dynasty. Go to two Super Bowls in 3 seasons. Then he goes to Jacksonville, 1999. After Jacksonville was pretty good with Mark Brunell, they went to the NFC Championship game in 96 and were really good after that. By 1999, 2001, 02, I'd have to look it up, but they were decent, I believe, but not as good as they were before. Then he went on to the Houston Texans in 2003, 4, 5, and 6. So Zach Wiegert, okay, first of all, he's not even in the Hall of Fame. Okay, this is not even close. And I would have to, yeah. And the Jacksonville team in 1999 did go to the playoffs. That was the team that beat the Dolphins in Dan Marino's final game, 62-7. I believe I've got that score correct. Dan Marino's final game, NFL playoffs, lost 62-7 to Jacksonville. So he played in that playoff run for Jacksonville. So that disqualifies him based on my criteria. But that's a good try there, Zach Wiegert. But I don't see him as a Hall of Famer. So he must not have been that great. Dick Butkus. That's a great one. That is a phenomenal choice because Dick Butkus is one of the all-time first tier, top of the line, great players of all time, probably considered the greatest linebacker of all time when he retired. Now, guys like Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis, and others, Jack Lambert may have surpassed him. We could argue that all day. Different era, run game oriented. But Dick Butkus only played 7 seasons, 1965 through 71. Yeah, this is an NFL show today. 1965 through 71, if I remember correctly, and see a different deal then. I think he played on a couple decent teams, but the criteria for reaching the playoffs was so ridiculously hard there. Consider there was a Los Angeles Rams team that did not make the NFL playoffs and they lost 1 game. So he did play for bad teams, but I think there might have been 1 or 2 good teams that would have made the playoffs in today's game, because you can be crappy and make the NFL playoffs. Now, the playoffs have become largely a joke in the NFL, with 14 teams out of 32 making it. But that is a great, that answered my question right there. I would elevate Dick Butkus into the same lane as Joe Thomas. Played for horrific teams, although stats, I doubt if people were sitting around at that point talking about Dick Butkus had 110 tackles this year and looking in their newspaper and saying, oh, he had 14 tackles for loss. But it was a position, and is a position at linebacker, that does have statistics that you can verify his greatness. Although nobody is verifying Dick Butkus' greatness based on statistics. It's just based on the scouts, the opponents, the coaches, the people at the time saying he's the best. And then we can go back and we can see just the tremendous, murderous hits he put on people are some of the most bone-crushing hits you will ever see. And of course, we don't see bone-crushing hits in football anymore. So they will stand the test of time. I want to see, I'm curious, and we're taking this show off the rails. That's fine. Dick Butkus, I think they may have had 1 good season while he was there. Okay, I said 65 to 71. 65 to 73, played 9 seasons. And see, I don't even have tackles here. He had 22 career interceptions. But anyway, I wish I could pull up team records here. Starting in 1965, the Bears were 9-5 that year, so that's much better than anything Joe Thomas put up with the Browns. 5-7-2, then they went 7-6, then they were 7-7, 1-13, 6-8, 6-8, 4-9, 3-11, 4-10, 4-10. Oh, that was past his time with the Bears. So basically, Dick Butkus played on 2 winning teams. I believe Joe Thomas played on a winning team in 2007, if I'm not mistaken. Joe Thomas was in which NFL draft? I believe 2007. The Browns went 10-6 and barely missed the playoffs. The Browns were in a very strange position on the final weekend of the 2007 season. Their game meant nothing to make the playoffs. They needed other things to happen, and their game was completely inconsequential. They could have lost the game and had other things occur and made the playoffs, but they instead won the game against San Francisco. Other things did not happen for them, and they missed the playoffs. I hope you guys are enjoying the NFL talk. Dick Night Train Lane. I've got to say, for all the Dick Night Train Lane film that I've watched, of course, he was the all-time leader in interceptions before Paul Krause came along. I don't know how good his teams were. I'm guessing they were pretty good. Yeah, I don't. Because he was playing for the Lions. I'm sorry, he was playing for the Rams. Yeah, the Lions at the end. Yeah, 61-65. So Dick Night Train Lane, yeah, he played for some good teams. He had to have played for some good teams. He was with the Rams for 2 years. And then CRD, who's that? The Chicago Cardinals? Yes. And we're not going to go through how bad they were. So anyway, Night Train Lane, that is a decent submission, it appears. And then the Lions were great in the 50s, but by the time he got there in 1960, they may not have been great at that point. Yeah, he missed playing for good teams. That's a good call. That's an excellent call there, apparently. And I don't remember the Chicago Cardinals doing much in the 1950s. I think they did in the 1940s. Pit Snipe Husker, maybe you can verify that a little bit further, but I think he nailed one there. So good submissions by Jim and by Pit Snipe Husker with Dick Butkus and Dick Night Train Lane. And if you have no idea what we're talking about, it's great all-time players, legends who played for bad teams and never played for a contending team. And if you're just joining us, Barry Sanders does not qualify. He played in multiple playoffs and the NFC Championship game. But that's pretty good, Pit Snipe Husker. Can we just call you what? Pit Snipe? Let's go with that. Yeah, the Lions sucked. They were really good before he got there. Then they sucked after he got there. And yeah, I think you nailed it there. You did well. Floyd Little was thrown out. And Gale Sayers, whoever threw out Jim, yes, submitted Dick Butkus. Well, Gale Sayers played at the same time for the same team. So Gale Sayers is one of the greatest of all time. But of course, much like Dick Butkus, he was stymied by knee injuries. And Dick Butkus played 9 seasons. Gale Sayers, I think I mixed up Butkus and Sayers in terms of my Rolodex upstairs. Sayers played from 1965 to 70. He only played 6 seasons. So we've got a few others out there. Yes. But the condition on Gale Sayers was, I said, guys that could not accumulate statistics to show how great they were. So again, even if Barry Sanders played for bad teams, disqualified from my criteria there, where it's just the player is so great that even though they play a position where statistics are not recognized and they play for a horrible team, that they're just so great that everybody knows it. That's just crazy. Dick Night Train Lane, even though that's a good submission, he was the all-time interception leader. He had stats to show, see how great I am? He had the all-time interception lead for a single season and all-time record career. So, you know what? Pit Snipe, great submission, but that doesn't meet my criteria. Joe Thomas, still in a category by himself as an offensive lineman that has no statistics. This is why we love this show. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time with all of you. Our buddy Matthew, who hosts our Texas show on the Texas channel, you should all be checking that out on Monday nights, edits these shows because sometimes we'll talk about a particular team and then want to clip that off for the other channels. Matthew, probably nothing to talk about or clip off in this show. We hope that Tony Barnhart is joining us. It's 4:36 p.m. Eastern time. He has the link. Hopefully there was not an issue. Let me double check on that. I know this is going to be scintillating for all of you to check out at this point. We're having an issue with him not being able to get on. That is unfortunate. Yeah, StreamYard is difficult. As we hear Steve Dace, every time Steve jumps on, he is cussing up a blue storm, amazing blue storm, every time he jumps on, cussing out our StreamYard link and all the pyrotechnics and the calisthenics that he's got to go through to get on here. I'm not aware of it. I have a StreamYard account, so I just am able to access, and it's not an issue for me. So I don't know the struggles that other people go through. So unfortunately, Mr. Tony Barnhart not able to get on today to join us. That's unfortunate because I had a line of questioning for him today. We do have a big show on Thursday, as long as people can access the StreamYard link. 3 guests on Thursday would include Shihan Jera Raja, and I'm going to verify the pronunciation of the CBS sports writer's name. Again, it's Shihan Jera Raja, and he has some work in particular I wanted to converse with him about. He is showing up on Thursday, as well as Coos's Corner, our buddy Justin Walker from Coos's Corner, to talk West Virginia football in the Big 12. We also have at 6:30. So you've got an extended show on Thursday. Big bonus show. Because on Thursday, maybe we will make up for our dismal effort today, but we've got Big Ten information, college football fan. Many of you are very familiar with his work on X. He is a resource that few can challenge when it comes to the Big Ten and all of college football in regards to inside information, intel, and we will certainly tap our friend there, Big Ten information. He will be on coming up Thursday. His appearance at 6:30, and again, Coos's Corner, talking West Virginia in the Big 12, and then also CBS sports reporter Shihan Jera Raja will be joining us. So we've got 3 guests on Thursday and apparently 0 guests here on Wednesday. Therefore, we're going to once again highlight that it's 73 days till the college football season. That would be 10 weeks times 7. That's 70 to Saturday, 3 more days, Wednesday to Saturday, 73 days, the number of we have established John Hanna, Jonah Williams, John Hicks, Jim Stillwagon. Anybody current that wears number 73 that can play ball? I'm sure there's guys all over the place. And then was Zach Wiegert? He was in the 90s, wasn't he? I don't believe he was in terms of his number. I think he was like number 93, something like that. Matthew says, we'll have to backtrack to see what Matthew's counting up here. Joe Thomas, Dick Butkus, Gail Sayers, Larry Wilson, the great St. Louis Cardinal. Well done, Matthew. Matthew, for a young gentleman, coming up with some great all-time NFL players from the past. Larry Wilson of the St. Louis Cardinals, safety. Yes, used to wear the eye black. Floyd Little, Denver Broncos. What are we counting up? Oh, Matthew Miller looking up NFL all-time greats in the Hall of Fame who never made the playoffs. Ken Houston of the Washington Redskins. That one is tough to figure. So the Redskins obviously were a powerhouse in the 80s and 90s under Joe Gibbs. But prior to that, of course, they played the all-time great Dolphins, undefeated team in the 73 Super Bowl. And they were a good team in the 70s. When I started watching the NFL, the Redskins were respected. George Allen, I think I only caught maybe one George Allen season. And they were a good team. They'd make the playoffs occasionally. They were on the fringe of the playoffs. They were like 9-5, 10-4 a lot. But of course, George Allen had an exceptional record with the Redskins, but it was difficult to make the playoffs then. But they went to the Super Bowl in 73, and I think that was post Ken Houston. So where did he go at that point? He played for the Houston Oilers as well. I think Ken Houston was Oilers and Redskins and probably missed the decent Redskins teams. I'm not positive about that. My memory is somewhat failing me. I hate to confess that. Ken Houston. Yeah. Ken Houston, Matthew is confirming, never played in an NFL playoff game. So he played for the Houston Oilers 1967 through 72, never played in a playoff game. So he would have played in AFL playoff games. I know that they played the Raiders one of those seasons that the Raiders went to the Super Bowl, that he played a playoff game in the AFL. But then he went to the Redskins and just missed the Super Bowl team of 1972. And then the Redskins, why would he not have played a playoff game in 1975? Did the Redskins not make the playoffs in 75? I thought they played the Vikings in either 74 or 75 in the playoffs. And then his last season was 1980. And they had decent teams, but never made the playoffs during that run in the late 70s. I know that, but I'm going to double check that. Okay. All right, Matthew. Not only see, this is why I'm better than AI. Are you checking on AI, Matthew? I'm better than AI on this one. Yes, Ken Houston played. Not only did he play, he intercepted a pass in a 1976 playoff game. I believe that was a loss to either the Rams or the Vikings, and I can't remember. I think it was because the Rams and the Vikings played in the NFC Championship game in 76. And one of them beat the Cardinals and the other one beat the Redskins. But anyway, Ken Houston, technically, had that one game not been played, then only one NFL playoff game, but he played in multiple. Oh, he played in other NFL playoff games. There we go. 1973-74. Yeah, with the Redskins. Okay. All right. So he played in 3 NFL playoff games and 2 AFL playoff games. So the condition I'll put on those AFL playoff games is that they were post Super Bowl. So those AFL teams did advance to the Super Bowl that won the AFL. So I would consider those NFL playoff games because you went to the Super Bowl. So Ken Houston, went to the playoffs 5 times. I was a bit confused there. I thought that was incorrect, but I thought, maybe he missed with the Oilers and then went to the Redskins right after they were good. Okay, got that cleared up. Very nice. Hey, Ralph, I'll take somebody cheating because they got to verify me. I don't like to look this stuff up. I like to just know it. But I've got to be verified, especially the older I get, the more I start to confuse these things. Yeah, Larry Wilson, and certainly he played during a time in which hardly anybody made the playoffs. So that was difficult to do. And he played for the Cardinals, and they were no good for a long, long time. The St. Louis Cardinals did not go to the NFL playoffs from sometime in the 1940s, like 1946 until 1975, with Jim Hart at quarterback, Terry Metcalf at running back, Roger Worley, safety, Larry Wilson. Remember that team, everyone? The 1975 Cardinals broke through finally and made the playoffs. But that must have been right after Larry Wilson retired. I think he was 60 to 74. Did I get him right? 1960 to 74, Larry Wilson. If I hit that, somebody should give me some kind of a gold sticker. Larry Wilson, I'm throwing out 1960 to 74. Did I get it? No, 1960 to 72. 60 to 72. Intercepted 52 passes, led the league in 1966. 5 pick sixes. Oh, I was just going to do like a lap around the desk if I got Larry Wilson 60 to 74, 60 to 72. Final Jeopardy type stuff. And I would have I think I would have I wouldn't have been fully confident, but I might have thrown out a decent, one of those strategic, because of course, Final Jeopardy, you got to figure how much money do they have? What do I have? How confident am I in my answer? You have to do that whole strategy deal to figure that out. I like these kind of shows because we're delving into football history and just bringing up random dudes. Guess they're not that random. They are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But all right. Again, we got a watch party coming up. We don't know when it's going to be, but we have selected the game, or you selected the game, 2021 Michigan, Ohio State. We're going to do the watch party. And then as we carry this into the season, folks, I would love to do this every Monday night. So, games on Thursday and Friday, typically not the best games. Typically, it's going to be a Saturday game. And then maybe we take a poll on Sunday. You vote for the best game. And then we watch it on Monday night. What do we think of that? Todd prefers college football history. Sorry, I veered off into NFL history. Todd, if you want to throw something out there, I did start the conversation with great number 73s in college football history, or even current players, anybody that wore number 73, because we are commemorating 73 days until week 0, which I believe is the great Stanford-Hawaii game. Also, Kansas State and Iowa State. That's going to be a heck of a week 0 game. That should be a really good one. And then I also proposed doing a random team of the day. But I want to come prepared, do a little bit of homework, shake the cobwebs, and we will do a random team of the day. Maybe we can start that next week. Also, next week, and the reason I hesitate is I do have a trip that's coming up at some point, and I don't know when I'm going to take it for sure. It could possibly move up to next week. We shall see. But I can't wait to put this baby together. I got rid of all the point totals. And once again, check out the screen right there. So that is one of the big highlights on Thursday here at the Voice of College Football, the college football show at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We're going for about 3.5 hours on Thursday. We're going for about 3.5 hours on Thursday with, again, CBS sports writer Shihan Jararaja, also Coos's Corner, talking West Virginia, the Big 12, and then we get a 6:30 guest in our guy, Big 10 information. If you follow him on Twitter/X, he is a resource like few others. Some of you will recognize that. That's my compilation of numbers all time. And I will put that together in some formation, and we will break down the conferences next week. I believe it's going to be next week. All-time program rankings. I know I've been touting this for about a month, and we should get to this sooner because the offseason is going to be gone because we got media days about mid-July. Who knows if I'm going to attend media days? I might. I'm thinking about going to Atlanta for the SEC media days and going to Vegas for the Big 10 media days. Possibly. We shall see. I will have to make a decision here soon. but those would be the all-time program rankings in regards to those are not the rankings there. Those are just all the numbers. Got to put them together. I'm going to put them together by conference, but of course that gets tricky. You can't rank Arizona State against the Big 12. They played in 1 year. If Arizona State's ranked against the Big 12 in all-time program rankings as a Big 10 or as a Big 12 member, then I'm going to proclaim Arizona State is the greatest team in the history of the Big 12. They played in the league 1 year and they won it. They are a perfect example of domination of a conference. But of course, that doesn't make sense. So there's a lot to consider, a lot that's going to have to be determined there. Well, that's going to be a long show. We are going to break that down. We are going to produce some videos and put those out there. So I would ask everyone to digest the videos first, and we will go conference by conference. And again, it gets a little tricky with all this realignment because, USC. So we will do our best. We will put it into a context of conference evaluations and comparisons, and then we'll put together an all-time list. All right. Keep in mind, we'll be back at 8:30 Eastern time with Leanne Herring for the big On the Move show, the recruiting and transfer portal show that we do each and every Wednesday night. And you can call in. We get the phone lines open tonight at 8:30 Eastern for the On the Move show. And also keep in mind, folks, actually, unfortunately, we may need to cancel the show tonight, looking at my phone. So we'll do the Miami show. I'll be live with Cam Underwood from State of the U, the Miami show at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I actually have to run to an appointment now. Great to see all of you here, the Voice of College Football. Check me out next with Cam Underwood, State of the U, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And again, big show here on Thursday with 3 great guests talking college football with all of you. Please like and subscribe on your way out. We always appreciate your financial contributions as well, right here at the Voice of College Football. Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App are appreciated.